Python tuples are one of the main data types in Python used to store collections of data. They are similar to lists, but have one key difference. They are immutable, meaning that once a tuple is created, the items in it cannot be changed. A tuple is created by placing all the items or elements inside parentheses, separated by commas. It can have any number of items, and they may be of different types, such as integer, float, list, string, and so on. So to create a tuple, let's start off by creating maybe a tuple list of numbers. So let's say numbers is going to be our variable tuple name. And then we're going to use parentheses and let's say give it the number 21, -5, 6, and 9. And if we want to see those numbers, then we could see that similarly to like lists, we have a list, but they are with parentheses rather than square brackets, which makes it a tuple. You can determine how many elements are within a tuple by using the len method. So we can use the len to check how many numbers are in our numbers tuple, and that gives us 4. Tuples can also contain different kinds of elements with different data types. So let's create a mixed tuple. And then we're going to assign it the name John. But first we need parentheses, of course. So the first element is John, then the number 42, Boolean false, a float 3.14, and let's add a list of fruits like apple and banana. And if we want to see that mixed tuple, and there we have it, our tuple with mixed elements. You can also create a tuple by using the tuple constructor. So let's create a new tuple called color tuple. And we use the tuple constructor, and in it we give it a list of elements, say green and blue. And if we want to see the color tuple, we have our tuple here with our colors. Tuples can also contain other tuples as well. To do that, we could create our new tuple. Let's say nested tuple. And in that tuple, we're going to give it, let's say, morning 12. And then another tuple inside that, coffee and toast. And if we want to see that nested tuple, we can see that our tuple contains a tuple inside as well. You can also access items within the tuple by referring to the index number inside square brackets. So let's say our nested tuple, we want to get the second element, which will be indexed with the number 1. And of course, that returns 12. You can also get a range of elements using the index and bracket notation. So let's say we want to get the first 2 elements of the nested tuple. What we will do is the nested tuple, then start from the first element, and then we want to stop at the third, which is going to be indexed with the number 2. So this means 0, 1, and then starting from 2, we no longer want that element, so we'll only get the first 2 elements. And when we click play, we get the first 2 elements. Now, if we want to update a tuple, we kind of have to play around with this. Just a reminder, tuples are immutable, which means that once a tuple is created, you cannot change, add, or remove items. However, you can combine them using two different tuples. So let's create two separate tuples called tuple1, and we will give those the elements of apple and banana. Then we have a second tuple, tuple2, and we're going to give that cherry and pie. And now we create a new tuple, which combines tuple 1 plus tuple 2. And then when we want to see the new tuple, we get the combination of both these two tuples. So we have tuple 1 and tuple 2, which cannot be modified in any way, but we could use these two to combine them to create a new tuple, and that new tuple contains the 4 elements. You can also check whether or not a specific element exists within the tuple. To do that, let's use our new tuple, and let's say we want to check if pi is in our new tuple. And here, of course, this is true. But if we wanted to check the color blue, it gives us false. Become a member at AILearningHub.io and get access to personalized mentor guidance, early access to AI resources, help with AI projects, and a great learning community.